What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Patreon. It is 1:48 p.m. here on the East Coast. In the USA, it is April 24th of 2019. So let's just get right into it, guys. Bitcoin seeing some interesting action, still on a potential upward sloping trajectory in a potential rising wedge-like pattern, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. Just going to pull up Patreon here on my right so I have these questions for later. But anyway, guys, right now the 4-hour, is testing, had a slight test below the 21 exponential, right? For me right now, the 21 exponential is that short-term bullish or bearish indicator. Right now, it is still acting as support. Price trying to get below it, finding support, right? Getting pushed back up. So the 21 exponential moving average on the 4-hour chart is something that I like to use for short-term signals, guys. And right now we're still holding above it. But if we start closing below this purple 21 exponential, then I think things could break down. Also, keep in mind right now, guys, that if you just map out your chart like this, I'm going to account for these two wicks instead of this one lonely one here. So those two wicks, right? You have this ascending triangle, and then of course you have a slightly newer trend, a slightly more bullish trend here as well. So right now, this support line is coming in sort of with the 21 exponential. So this is pretty critical. If we break below the 21 exponential, we break below this upsloping support, we could be, on track to at least create a horizontal low or a lower low. Now, again, right now, I mean, we're actually, if I just mark this up, we're actually potentially in an ascending triangle within an ascending triangle from the bullish perspective, guys. Am I recording? Okay, good. We could very well be in an ascending triangle within an ascending triangle, right? We have this, one touch to the upside, one touch to the downside, one touch to the upside. So you have your, required 4 touches to the upside, to the downside. And then here, we have the touch up to the upside. You can actually only really count this as one if you're trying to, for an ascending triangle. 1, 2, and then we need 3, 4 to validate that, right? I mean, yeah, it's interesting, guys. We're seeing bullish patterns within bullish patterns, but again, things are kind of dying down now. There's a lot of profit taking now, not all that much strength from the buy side. So we will see. We will see how this actually goes. Now, I'm looking at my one chart here that I mapped out. So I was looking at this as a rising wedge. If you just look at it like this, right, which is just a price channel. This is just a price channel. But I had this area drawn from here to here. Is that what I was looking at? Oh, I think I would have to just remove this. It's not really a rising wedge, but it does have some characteristics of one a little bit. Just that converging price action, upward sloping consolidation, and again, rising wedges do tend to break bearishly. But again, it's questionable, guys. It's questionable. You can interpret this as an upward sloping price channel. You can interpret this as an ascending triangle. You can interpret this as another ascending triangle within an ascending triangle. Or you could interpret this as a potential rising wedge forming. It's more of an ascending triangle though, or a price channel. But yeah, guys. Anyway, we're kind of just hanging out up here. There is because the sellers aren't stepping in right now. There is more up room to move up, and we don't really find that resistance until about if we get about 56.27. We don't find that resistance until 57.81, 5800, right? So we are really damn close to resistance. So yes, there is upside potential, but in my opinion, we're just at that resistance now. There's no real point in the market testing up another $100, $200. I think we hit our resistance, guys. We just had a triple top rejection, right? Top, triple top rejection. And in my opinion, again, I think there's about an 80% chance of a pullback to find support versus a continued move up. So I'm looking for a pullback. Also, I did take a speculative play yesterday on XRP, and it worked out pretty well. Now, again, guys, I'm honing in on my trading skills, my abilities, right? I'm trying to get better. before I have people sitting around relying on me, which I don't even want in the first place. But I'll show you some trades that I'm in, but I'm not going to be sending out signals all the time. Again, I want to become as good of a trader as possible, and I'm kind of just working in silence over here, guys. Just getting better, working in silence. That's how I do it. But anyway, guys, let's see. So fintech startups are overtaking banks with crypto. Yeah, this is interesting, guys. Banks are being threatened now by blockchain tech, right? Banks are under a big threat. I think a lot of these banks are downplaying crypto because they realize how big of a threat it actually is. And yeah, I think the bankers are. I think behind closed doors, the bankers are actually having like a breakdown right now. Really trying to figure out what the hell this blockchain thing is, how it's going to affect their business. And I think some bankers are ignorant and they don't really see the effects that blockchain will have. But I think a lot of the smarter ones are probably. I think the smarter bankers are probably going to try to integrate soon, right? Which is, think about it. The smartest companies in the world, Facebook getting involved in crypto, Amazon getting involved in crypto, IBM getting involved in crypto. The list goes on, guys. The smart businesses and smart money are taking note of crypto for sure. Hong Kong restricts Bitcoin mining. Will it lead to crypto change in attitudes to crypto? Interesting that Hong Kong is trying to restrict Bitcoin mining. 63% of Europeans say that crypto will exist in 10 years, but only 49% believe in Bitcoin. That's pretty good. 49% believe in Bitcoin. That's actually pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that number there from this poll. It's a pretty good number. Norway seems to be the most friendly. Italy, Netherlands. Yeah, this is also an interesting article by Cointelegraph. New York State sees first crypto conviction for crypto money laundering. Also, we had that first hacker that was caught stealing crypto as well, the younger guy as well. Bitcoin bears fail miserably in stopping huge institutional demand. How are bears supposed to stop institutional demand? This article doesn't even make sense. I'm just bringing up, guys. I just bring up the top articles for the day in my updates and just look at them. But yeah, it's interesting. Traditional markets seeing a little bit of downside today, just slightly getting that rejection, right? See that horizontal top, guys, just getting rejected exactly at your resistance. Currently a triple top, right? Getting rejected 3 times now. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out, but it looks like we might be getting some rejection again for the 3rd time. Also Litecoin. See Litecoin. Oh yeah, look, Litecoin breaking below that support, guys. I just looked at Litecoin for the first time today, and it is, I mapped it out the other day, just simple trend lines, and we did, right when we got below, but once we had that 4-hour close, guys, below the 21 exponential, or am I delusional? No, it is, but this is actually on the daily. But the 21 exponential on the daily, I guess, just so happened to be here, but it just so happens that when you have the first daily close below your 21 exponential on the daily chart, you start breaking down, and then you break below your support line, right? You broke below your support line, and you're kind of in no man's land until about, $50, $60, right? Ethereum also being very boring, but Ethereum is holding. It's interesting to see how well Ethereum is holding this upward sloping support line. Very interesting. Just see where our resistance is coming in. Coming back to retest that now. Yeah, that's critical support coming in at this upward sloping trend line, right? Very critical. Yeah, altcoins are pulling back a little bit, including XRP. But yeah, guys, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, we also have some questions. Interesting, you mentioned about Willy Woo and Crown and how they read something different in the charts. Let me play devil. Oh, this is an interesting comment. Let me play devil's advocate here. In Willy Woo's recent tweet, quote, I surveyed notable influencers, analysts, and traders for their probability that the bottom is in for the bear market, end quote. And others, top traders, voted towards the side that the bottom was already in. What, in your honest opinion, are most of them or yourself is misreading? That question doesn't actually make sense. But this person goes on to say, again, I always love your analysis, and this is only to ensure we are not missing any key perspectives or probabilities on the way to long term. Thanks. What, in your honest opinion, are most of them and yourself misreading? What are we misreading? I think one of the biggest things that can be misread about this market is the amount of Bitcoin that is available at any given time, right? This market can be manipulated because, guys, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, which there's 17 million now. Also, Bitcoin is selling off a little bit here, guys. So I don't know. I mean, like, it's hard to say, but OTC, maybe volume is less significant than I think it is. Guys, I question myself all the time about my analysis. You have to. Maybe volume isn't as significant because of OTC and because the overall people understand how to use Bitcoin more and more, so that Bitcoin is leaving exchanges more and more, and there's less available Bitcoin to go around on exchanges, which would mean that even just the slightest amount of demand would cause a pump. That is something that I have recently been trying to figure out how I can determine that, right? Through various ways. It's quite difficult, but it's possible. And of course, your NVT signal is the go-to indicator for that, but I think there's better ways to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure really what your question is. What am I misreading? I don't know. You guys tell me if I'm misreading something, right? You guys tell me. Your question doesn't really make sense, in my opinion. But yeah, the next person says, it seems like altcoins precede Bitcoin's movements. Alts are starting to dump, so I think we have a pullback soon, says James. Yeah, guys, a lot of times when altcoins start dumping, people, of course, go from altcoins to Bitcoin, and then they go from Bitcoin to US dollar. Right, that's like the exit route for people. It's like they're sitting on shit coins, good old shit coins, and then they're like, oh, these things are selling off. Let's hop over to Bitcoin, right? And then they're like, oh, Bitcoin's selling off. Let's hop over to fiat, right? And then of course when this happens, which happens all the time in Bitcoin, then of course the price goes down for Bitcoin. There was no need for me to even map that out, but I'm just showing you it goes from shit coins to Bitcoin to US dollar. Which is funny. It's funny that it works that way, but it makes sense. But yeah, we are getting some rejection now, guys. Looks like we might be getting that blow off top right here, right now. But we'll see. No confirmations yet, right? We need to break below support. We need to break below the moving averages. We need to get out of this structure. Again, no confirmations, guys. We're still on, look, we're still in an upsloping trajectory, right? We're still in a formation here of some kind. However you want to draw it. Yeah, there you go. Right. So once we get below that, once we get below, our ascending triangle formation, which I guess I'll just break it down to the 12 hour so we can see. But once we get below this line, guys, break below this support, guys, things don't have to really be more complicated than this. Get below get below your two main upsloping supports. Because guys, right now the market is maintaining this. The market's maintaining this upward sloping support. And we could still be bouncing off of previous resistance. We haven't even broken below previous resistance yet. But we're still maintaining higher lows. So it's hard to get the market to actually sell, right? If you're a bear, it's hard to get the market to capitulate when you have higher lows the whole time. Nobody's scared of that. Nobody's scared of higher lows, right? So once you start, maybe breaking down, that is when you'll start seeing some real sell-offs. But for now, we're sitting pretty. We're coming back to retest previous resistance. Everything's fine from a higher time frame perspective. Everything is completely fine, completely intact. But again, you break below the 21 exponential in the 4 hour, you break below your previous resistance, your previous upper sloping support right here, guys. This is just that critical zone right here. Get below this area, I think we'll find ourselves probably retesting some support, and then slightly near midterm. But yeah, guys, I think that's about it for today. Coin market cap. What else do we got here? Any big guys up? Basic attention up a little bit. Everything else wrecked. Nice. Shit coins need to go to shit. That's what we need next. That's how this market progresses. Shit coins go to shit, and we keep the good stuff, and then the real value stays. But yeah, interesting. Bitcoin just below 100 billion again. Bitcoin Cash still holding fourth in Litecoin and 6. Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash love to flip back and forth. Cardano is still holding that 10th place. Interesting. Anyway, guys, I think that's about it for today. If you have questions, definitely let me know. And I don't know, if you guys are interested, I'll keep you guys updated on the XRP short, if you guys are interested. But yeah, just took a bit of a speculative play. I mean, the reason I took this trade, guys, was just from a weekly perspective. You know, yesterday we were sitting up here and we were getting no buying. I was just looking at it on the weekly like this, and I was like, this looks so bad. It just looks so bad, you know. And you had your support holding you like this, and we were starting to test below, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to short this. But again, it's only a 3,000 XRP short, so it's nothing big. But again, what I'm doing right now is I'm testing my theories and my way of doing things, right? And when you're doing that, you don't need to use a lot of money, guys, right? I use I use anywhere from $200 to $1,000, and then I use anywhere from 2x to 5x. No more than 5x leverage though. Yeah, and but that's it, guys. I'm just honing in on my abilities as a trader before I get fully into it. So you guys are kind of watching me develop, sort of, but I'm kind of just doing this on my own. But anyway, guys, I think that's about it for now, and I'll talk to you all in tomorrow's update.